Okay. All right, guys. So welcome to the March new coach call. Today I want to welcome Megan. Megan signed up. Was it end of last week or yeah, right?
Yeah, it was last Friday.
Okay, so she signed up at the end of last week, and I want to welcome her to our team. She's been in my challenge groups for a few months now, and she's doing really, really well with 80 Day Obsession. So, love the positivity and love how the direction that we're flowing. So, welcome to the team. Um, I'm gonna do these calls every month. It's gonna be general topics. As you get more in depth into the business and I find out what your goals are, then we can do more one-on-one calls and strategize your goals and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to do with these calls is just like a forum for Q&A, especially, so you guys have time one-on-one with me and I can answer questions in a group and make it more effective. So like I mentioned, I really wanted to talk just quickly today about the importance of sharing your story. Um, you know, in the 7.5 years that I've been a Beachbody coach, I can tell you that I've always seen the importance of sharing the story. Why? Because when you share your story, that's how you will find people who relate to you. One of the main parts of being a coach is really attracting your tribe, right? Women and men, it could be men too, people who have the same hobbies, the same likes, maybe even a similar story, a similar journey, maybe a similar life event, something that really they'll look at you, look at your story and be like, wow, I feel like this person could help me. They've gone through something similar. Maybe I should reach out to them. But the only way to do that is by sharing your story and sharing it often. Now, I don't want you to think that because maybe you're not at your goal weight or you're not at the success level with the business, that means that you don't have a story. That's what a lot of people tell themselves, but actually through your life and through your entire lifespan, you have experienced a million things that have made you and molded you into the person that you are today. So you can actually look back at your history, at different things that have happened to you in your past that created the person you are now. And maybe there's something in Beachbody that is helping you tweak and mold you into a different person. So I'm going to share not my entire story, but some of the different aspects of my story just so that you get an idea. So there's back when I was a kid, I was chubby. Someone in my family said some things to me that hurt my feelings when I was a preteen, basically compared me to my sister, who at that time was much thinner than I was at that time. And I carried that in that competition, that hurt, that those self-esteem issues throughout my teenage years, throughout my 20s. Actually, until the other day, I was still dwelling on these things like I'm not good enough, my body will never be, always trying to prove to people, to myself, that I can be better, that I'm not going to ever be heavy again. So all those things, that mess, that issue that I carried, that hurt in my heart that I carried throughout my entire life, molded me into the person that I am today. Because even though it hurt, it never slowed me down from becoming a fitness enthusiast, from wanting to work on myself, to wanting to be fit. I've always wanted to be fit because that person told me that I would never be skinny like my sister. I guess in my head, I'm like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong because that's not the way that it's going to be for me. So that pain point in my life created a whole bunch of steps. But even up to the point when I got married, I was still holding on to that I don't want to be fat mentality. And I didn't even want to have kids because of that. Because I thought the moment you have kids, you get fat and that's it. And that's part of my success story, is the fact that I did have kids. I took that mentality. I had kids anyway, and I used it to create a different life and to also prove, well, maybe not prove, but well, yeah, to show other women that kids should not be the excuse They are the reason that you should be fit and healthy. So all those different parts of my story have created who I am today and why I work so hard on myself. Luckily, you know, through a lot of work, I pushed through those self-esteem issues. But if you learn how to model your story and look at it, you look at your story in three aspects. Who was I before Beachbody? But this could be this Beachbody, the underlying word is Beachbody. It could be anything. Who was I before Beachbody, or before 80-day obsession, or before I had kids? Why did I need it in my life? You know, what were the obstacles that I needed to overcome? What products did I use in order to overcome? And then the final answer is, who am I now? And how did I change? So when you're like sharing your story in any part of your story, it could be anything. I mean, absolutely anything. It does not have to be about Beachbody at all. It could be about so many things. Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. It's like when you're in school and you're writing an essay, right? There's always like the introduction, the body, the closing, or the conclusion, right? Well, this is kind of like that. Describe where you were before, who you were, what your challenges were, the things that maybe troubled you. Step 2, this is what I did to take control. This is what I did to change. These are the steps that I took. 3, this is how I feel now. Here's how I've overcome. This is how I've changed. Now, the reason why it needs to be like this and why you need to start thinking like this is because people want to see your progression. They don't, you know, a lot of times I see new coaches that are like, I'm not going to share my transformation because I'm not where I want to be yet. But you know what? When you don't share and keep it to yourself, and then one day you pop up and you've lost all this weight, people are going to be like, but what did you do? Did you starve yourself? Like, the money and the credibility comes from the journey. And that's why when you write your story, you need to give these details. Yes, you have to open your heart. Yes, you have to share. But people need to see where you were, how you made those changes, why you made those changes, and then this is the new me. And I'm still working on me, but this is what I've created in my life, because someone out there is going to read that and is hopefully going to be inspired by your story. So does that make sense? And if you guys look at my Instagram, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm the best writer out there. I think my sister's a way better writer. But when I write a post, I always think, what's the point? I always ask myself before I post, I'm like, what's the point? Because I don't want, and if you look at my every day, I share my sweaty selfies and my workout pictures. I never just say, day 51, workout done. Because honestly, if you ask yourself, what's the point? There is no point to that. You know, people are going to just go like this and they're going to scroll right through because there's nothing inspirational about workout done, you know? Always think about maybe something that you heard Autumn say, or whatever trainer. Right now it's Autumn. So Autumn has a lot of great quotes that she's constantly saying in 80-day obsession right at the right moment when you want to give up. Think about those moments and how you feel. Maybe you can even think about a time when you wanted to give up on something, or maybe during the workout, and Autumn just came in and said the right thing and just made you believe that you could succeed. Those are stories too. So the point is, there has to be more meat. I'm not telling you to write a 10-page essay on every post. Okay, you got to try to hit it hard with your words and get in there quick and put the point out there. But before you hit post, ask yourself, what is the point of this? Am I making any sense? Am I inspiring anyone with my story, with my message, even if it's something that you've overcome? Am I inspiring anybody with this?
Hold on, AJ.
And this isn't hard. It just takes practice, and it takes thought. It takes maybe sitting down for 20 minutes and getting your head on straight. It takes me a long time to write posts. I'm not gonna lie. I have to sit there and what's the point? I keep asking myself, what's the point? Where am I going with this? What's the point? Until I get it to a place where there's some kind of message that's being sent. So going back to the story, share it. You have to share it often. People have to be reminded. There's stats out there that, people don't grasp on the first few times. You have to keep reminding them that this is your story and this is your progress and this is what I've done and I'm still working on it. You can switch it up. You can rewrite it in certain ways so it doesn't sound the same every single time. But it's important that you share it often, that you remind people of how far you've come and that you're still moving forward. And you know how I always say it, the passion for progress, right? We're always working to do more, to be more. So the story is going to be never ending, right? Because fitness is a lifetime process. We're always pushing to be better. And you have to get good at sharing that so that you make an impact in somebody's life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions? Any questions? No?
Adriana.
I'm gonna mute. Somebody's talking. Okay, so the same goes with the story, the same goes with your transformation, even if it's an incomplete, maybe it's a progress. It's important that you share, that you don't, like I said before, that you don't just pop in at the end of the day with at the end of your journey with some amazing transformation that nobody has seen you go through anything. People want to see you going through the ups and the downs because that's natural. We're human. Even with 80-day obsession, there are days where it's going to be harder than others, days where maybe the nutrition doesn't come as easily than others. You got to share the reality. We're not perfect beings. There's not ever going to be there's days where the workouts, they suck. They suck, and maybe you don't have energy, and maybe you don't want to do it. You're allowed to say those things. But then you put the silver lining on top and you're like, but I did it anyway because Autumn pushed me through it, because I focused on my goals, because I knew that I needed to get it done. That's what I do. I always say, well, there's days when I don't want to do it. I don't want to push play, or maybe I felt a little bit of energy, but I always spin it to something positive to show other people that, I'm human too. It's okay to have bad days, but it's our decision to make it a better day by going all in and making the changes that are necessary. I'm muting everybody. It's too many kids screaming in the background. It's okay. So that's what I wanted to share tonight. I hope that you guys, Megan, and I'm gonna send you I'll repost a link, but last week my sister and another leader from my team hosted a 5-day Instagram boot camp, which was really good. I'm still catching up from being away last week, so it's sorry if I already told you this, or if I don't even know, but it's worth your time and energy. Jasaida says that it was an amazing training. Get in there, really focus on the activities, do the steps that they're asking you to do, about changing your profile. Make sure your pictures are clear, because Instagram is a great source of finding people. Like, I like it way better than Facebook. It's a lot more fun. You can be yourself on Instagram. I love it. And, the more that you develop the skill, you learn how to navigate, how to find people, how to invite people, how to talk to people, the business will start to flourish. So I hope that all of you are in that 5-day boot camp. I'll repost the link to the group in the Queen Bee so that you guys can jump in. It was last week, but everything is still in there. There was a call last Monday night. You can listen to that call as well with Monica and my sister Christina, and just, pick their brains. They're really good at Instagram and they have really great profiles, so learn from them. It's a great tool to have all these people on our team that are really rocking and rolling and doing really well. So I think that's it for me. I wanted to share today. If you're wondering how many times you should share your story, at least once a week, I would say. Maybe use a different picture, especially on Instagram. Use a different picture you can do the same story. A couple tips, things that I use to save myself time. I use and I will always mention this every single call. I use an app called Evernote. EVER Note. Evernote. That app is great. It's basically a note app, right? It's better than having notes on your phone, because if you lose your phone, you lose the notes. But not on Evernote, because it's an actual website. It's an app, and you can use it on your phone while you're using it on the computer, and it updates so that, like, sometimes when I'm inviting and I'm working on lists and stuff like that, I'll have it on my computer, I'll have it on my phone, and I'm using both just for ease. Like I copy stuff off my phone, and then I'm updating lists on my computer. It's great. So what I do is, if you have a really great post, or maybe you want to sit down and write your story, write it out on Evernote, right? Because it saves it and it's done. It's there forever. Then if you ever want to change it, you can always copy it, put it on a different note, call it something else, change some perspectives on it. There you have your second story. So I save them, all my great posts, the ones that I really love that get the most interaction. I copy them off Instagram, I put them on Evernote, and then I recycle them. Then you use them over and over and over again. All you gotta do is use a different snapshot. Like my transformation pictures, I have so many, because my goal is to have a transformation picture every single year. So I have a ton of before and afters. I recycle them and I reuse the same posts. I have a million different sample challenge group posts, for instance, saved on Evernote. I find the one I want to use. I get a different transformation picture and I post, and it looks like a different post, because I'm reusing, I'm combining pictures with posts and changing things up. That's how you can make this business more effective, is by saving stuff in a place where all you have to do is copy and paste and go. Make sense? And one thing I would urge you to do, if you're going to start using Evernote or maybe a notebook or anything, is, have it with you at all times. And throughout the day, maybe when you're driving to work or you're working out or you're doing something that your mind starts to wander and you're thinking, think about stories. And then when an idea pops into your mind, write it down. Because guys, it's gone. In 5 seconds, the story is gone. You forgot the post, you forgot the idea. You got to write it down right away. If you have it on Evernote, that way you can come back to it when you have time. You can sit down and put a story together. But keep a note just of post ideas. And then you can start looking at things. And when you have a time to just like sit and think clearly, quiet time, you can add some meat into those posts, and there you have a library of posts on your phone. It's important to make this business time efficient. And because like for me, it takes me a long time to write posts. So if it's a good one, I'm definitely keeping it. I'm storing it somewhere so that on my phone, so that if I ever need it again, I can just go back to it and copy paste. Okay, so now I'm gonna unmute you. I'm gonna mute everybody. And for the next few minutes, I don't know what time it is because I can't see the time on my computer. I'm gonna let you guys ask me questions.
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Do we have, hold on, me? No.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, do we have any like training for Spanish speaking? I had like 3, like I'm trying to recruit 3, but they're like only Spanish.
Okay, so I know that Beachbody has trainings in Spanish. You just have to go to the Diesel Nation doesn't. We do have a group on Facebook that's Diesel Nation Español. I'm sure I can add you in there, and then you can talk to all the other Spanish speakers and see what kind of trainings they have. Maybe you can talk to Ati. Huh? What?
I say it's not yours.
I don't have any. Ati probably has. Ati Lopez, you can ask her.
Okay.
I don't have any in Spanish.
That's good. Okay.
Okay, but there's so many Latinas in Diesel Nation. Ati's one of them. She's a good one to ask. Um, Nina Cisterra. Just
Okay.
remind me and I'll add you to the Diesel Nation Espanol page, and then you can talk to them there and see what kind of trainings they have available in Spanish.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Becky, this is Megan.
Yes.
How many times do you recommend posting in a day?
Okay, so that's a good question, because when we've always said 3 to 5 times, but here's the caveat. I prefer you to post twice a day if they're two solid, value-filled, great posts, than to throw crap against the wall 5 times.
Okay.
So 2 good posts, like something thought out with nutrition, something of value that you can share with, maybe how the Time Nutrition has helped you. Got to get in depth with how things have changed you so that people can understand what you're doing. If you do 2 solid posts a day, that's good. I'd rather that than just throwing, weird stuff out there that makes no sense with, who you are, what your brand is, who the people you want to work with. But I'm sure that my sister Monica talked about that in the Instagram training. So definitely get into that and spend time there. I think you're going to find a lot of value in that training.
Okay.
Okay. Like, I post a lot, but I only post on Instagram. And I do, I'm trying not to be, I'm very much like a rule follower, and I set rules for myself. And then when I have rules for myself, I'm like, I want to be a stickler to it. And for a long time, I was like, I have to do this at this time and this at this time. And it was so strict. My Instagram became very strict, and it had the same flow every single day. Now I'm trying to loosen the reins a little bit and not be, but for me, it's always about motivating, inspiring, showing my food, showing my fitness, my consistency, being real. I always speak what I feel, the truth. Now my faith. I always try it. There's always a point. There's always a point. Even my funny posts, they're just to make you laugh. Like, my sarcasm, my weird humor, but there's always a point. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Susan, anything? Hi, Susan.
Hi. I can't really think of anything.
So I'm really proud of Susan because she's crushing it with her fitness, and she's hit Success Club 2 months in a row, and I'm sure she's gonna fight for her third month in a row. She says that she's never spoken to so many people in her life. Like, she's done since becoming a coach.
Yeah. I've never heard my voice for so long, so often.
But I'm super proud of you. You kept pushing. She did sign up her husband, which was very smart. Now she's looking for her second coach so she can advance to Emerald. So, she's pushing, and I'm really proud of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way to make it in this business is really is to just do the damn thing. I said that last week, like, I don't know how many times. Do the damn thing. You just have to take action. Like, there is no secret sauce. There isn't a magic formula. It's just, if you listen, please, also, another thing, listen to Melanie Mitro's call from today that she did for Diesel Nation. I shared the recording. I was in the middle of the day, so I understand it was hard, but you can listen to that on the weekend. It is worth the investment in your time. It's all she does is she's super consistent. She's like the queen of consistency. She pushes herself to do more every day. She's always trying to outdo what she's done in the past. She's responsible, she's forward thinking, and she's a business owner. You want to succeed in this, you have to take the reins and just do what comes natural to you. That's what I did when I started. I didn't even have trainings. I said this on last month's call. There were no trainings back then. I had I got a couple things that I looked at, and I just did what came natural to me. And that's what she said today. Basically, she wanted to hit high success club numbers. No one had to tell her to schedule a second challenge group for that month. That's what she did because she knew that was going to get her to her goal. So you got to be forward thinking. You have to take ownership of your business, and then just do the vital behaviors. Invite people, share your fitness, be a product of the product, and do your personal development. You just got to do that every single day. Yeah. Anything else? Decide. Janeris, do you have anything? No. There somewhere. So we're like coming up on the 30-minute mark. Didn't want to take too much of your guys' time tonight, but because I'm sure everybody's still tired from the hour of sleep that we lost on Sunday. So just this month, there's still time. To me, Success Club is a huge part of this business. Right now, if Megan, you're new again into the business, is talk to the people that maybe you've talked to in the past. Talk to them about ADD Obsession, your friends, your family, coworkers, whoever it is that you have confidence, you have a relationship with, and invite them to join you. And if they say no, you move on. It'll be next time. But don't ever let a no stop you, because that's part of the business. So there's still time to make moves. We're mid-month, and start promoting a challenge group for the beginning of April. That gives you time to get people on board. And now the great thing now is that with Beachbody On Demand, if you sell an all access challenge pack, they get access to BOD right away. So before, like if I had a challenge group starting, let's say Monday the 19th, people would have to order by the 12th because they needed their DVDs to start.
Yeah.
So there was a week. Now, okay, fine, they get their Shakeology a week late, but they can actually download their nutrition plan and their workout calendar and decide on a program the day before a challenge group starts, and they can start. Even without the containers, even without Shakeology, they can start. So don't back down from that. Select a start date for your next challenge group. Make it for April, because that'll give you points in March, and go out there and find people who are like you, like-minded people who want to create change in their lives, and then be that hope for them. Be that person that's going to help them get there. That's all we can do, is share what we love, share the products, share what they've done for us, and invite people to join us on this journey. And I hope that next month you guys are here, excited, with Success Club points, and that we're rocking and rolling and moving our businesses forward. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thanks, Becky.
Short and sweet. I'm like the type that just 1, 2, 3, get it done. Yeah, that way we can all rest. Susan, did you have to go work out now?
I do.
Okay.
I gotta wipe my makeup off my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was holding off on working out until after this.
Okay, see, that's why I wanted to make it quick so everybody can move on with their night. All right, guys. So I'll post a recording for anybody who missed if you want to share with anybody. But thank you for taking the time to jump on. We'll do it again next month. If there's any specific topics or questions that you have that maybe you want me to talk about next time, please send them to me so that we can be all on the same page. And that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks,
right, guys.
Becky.
And that's it. Good night.
Night.
Bye.